Welcome to the Power Report, presented by Solstice Energy. Save your money, save our planet, save the future. Solstice Energy, home of the K-Lo Power Box. To learn more, go to thepowerreport.com. I'm Randy Witt, and coming up in a moment, we've got some news headlines you're going to want to know about, along with some insight from our Power Report expert. But first, a thanks to our sponsor who makes the show possible, Solstice Energy. Now, they're a solar energy provider owned and operated by Solstice Homes, a trusted, established, knowledgeable, and experienced builder who's been in business for over 15 years. So if you're interested in solar for your home, you'll quickly find that Solstice Energy is far and away the supreme choice. Tops in customer service satisfaction, they only use Tier 1 equipment, and they even provide their customers with complimentary tax rebate consultations from the Solar Tax Association to determine which tax incentives they qualify for and what other benefits they might be eligible to receive to assure they get the maximum federal rebates for going solar. But those rebates are going away soon, so if you're thinking about solar, act now before it's too late. 844-7-SOLAR-8. That's 844-7-SOLAR-8. And now we've got a headline out of the Idaho Statesman. Every morning on a 360-acre stretch of land South Boise, 174,800 solar panels began to move with those first shafts of light and absorbing its energy to create 40 megawatts of electricity. Now, that's enough power for about 29,000 homes. And the Idaho Solar One project on South Cloverdale Road is putting a new crop on the former Treasure Valley farmland. It's called solar energy. And now the project, the first commercial solar farm to be built in Idaho, will deliver electricity to Idaho Power for at least the next 20 years. And to comment on this and some other great news stories we have coming up, it's Trevor Keys, CEO of Solstice Energy. Trevor, thank you for joining us and sharing your wealth of knowledge.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Now, what are your thoughts on Idaho breaking new ground on solar?
It's finally economically feasible in Idaho to do solar. The economics are proven. The tax credits are strong outside of just your standard subsidies that you and I would get for our house. The farmers are getting the USDA that can kick in and pay for an extra 25%. I mean, imagine if they're paying for 25% of their cash crop.
Wow.
Right on top of that. So power costs in Idaho are no longer, a stagnant issue. They had the largest power increase ever, Idaho Power did, $218 million legislature bill that passed in April of this year. But it's a super important fact. The breadbasket, the farmers, they feed all of us. And the Department of Energy has identified 15% of all the costs of food are tied directly to energy. And so the scary part about that is that's a variable cost. And so if we see the cost of power double in farming, we're going to see a humongous increase in our food right. supply. So the Department of Energy has created some incentives, and just going through their website right now, looking at it, as of April the 30th, they've funded $26 million in government grants helping people with energy projects. The 40 megawatt project like you listen to, these are small farmers. We have a customer in Idaho who owns a farm, and we won the first agricultural grant for him in Madison County, Idaho. The USDA, they know that this is a problem, and it is a problem, and farmers need to do something about it. Most of these people have infrastructure and costs that are 30, 40, 50 years old, and you think about a pump, and a pump is some of the greatest sunk costs just to pull the water up to, use for a pivot spray. That pump could be 20, 30, 40 years old, and to replace it to an energy efficient one that would save them a ton of money, it's $15,000. And so it's out of the reach, and so they just keep paying the same costs.
I mean, it's so important. We're talking about our food supply here, and we have farmers that are using technology that's decades old, but we get new iPhones every 3 months.
Yeah, 50s and 60s type technology, right? North Korea is using the same, I'm not kidding, North Korea is using the same type of pumps that we're using in the breadbasket. It's shocking.
And people, they just, I don't think they're understanding what's going on with the food supply. They just pull up to the drive-through window and think that it just magically appears.
Right. And the greatest part about it is you've got within the reach of the farmers. You have this ITC, which is the personal tax credits, but then you have these farming tax credits. And when you merge these two in together with the family farm or with the small farm, I mean, you can get 50, 60, 70% of the entire solar project paid for from the government.
Well, and it kind of all starts with something that we need people to realize. It all kind of ties into net metering,
Right.
which is something that people may be going, huh? But it's very important that they understand what net metering is. Can you break that down?
Yeah, no, that's super important. Net metering is a tollway between you and the power company. And a lot of people don't realize this, but when you produce your power, you don't immediately use it. You deposit it immediately onto the grid. Whether you're a farm or whether it's on your house, the power's created, and then that net meter shows a deposit onto the grid. Then when it's in the middle of the day or at night, when you're using the power, you pull back from the grid. And so you're constantly depositing and pulling back. And the net meter is that contractual agreement between you and the power company that guarantees that your power production is going to be credited. And that's what allows you to essentially have zero power bill if you have enough space for the solar panels.
And that's something that you guys over at Solstice Energy provide. And something that people also need to understand about Solstice is you're also home builders.
Right.
So there's not a third party that you guys come up and have to bring into the mix to understand the nuances of each individual structure. You
Right.
understand how to not only take care of making sure that the property is set up for solar, but actually each individual home is properly put together to be able to
Yeah.
maximize the sun.
A typical project for us, we have 40 subcontractors. We're building a multifamily project in Holiday, Utah right now. 40 subcontractors. On solar, it's just us. But it still requires somebody with the knowledge and expertise to be able to go and structurally make sure that project is going to be able to produce so that you have a 30-year agreement that power is going to be credited. Super important.
844-7-SOLAR-8. That's 844-7-SOLAR-8. And the Power Report is presented by Solstice Energy. Save your money, save our planet, save the future. To learn more, go to thepowerreport.com. And Solstice Energy is a solar energy provider owned and operated by Solstice Homes, a trusted, established, knowledgeable, and experienced builder who's been in business for over 15 years. And if you've been thinking about solar for your home but have yet to act on getting your questions answered, now is the time. Call the experts of Solstice Energy to get all the questions you need answered with no hassle at all. And after that, if you decide you want to move forward with a site survey of your home, Solstice will come over when it's convenient for you and confirm that your home meets all of the qualifications for solar. For instance, are there obstructions blocking the sun's trajectory? Or is your roof capable of supporting solar panels? Solstice provides this at no cost with no obligation, but you need to act now because those federal tax rebates for going solar will be expiring soon. And by calling now, Solstice is even going to provide you with a free tax rebate consultation from the Solar Tax Association to determine what tax incentives you qualify for and what other benefits you might be eligible to receive. That alone is a $500 value and could get you thousands of dollars in rebates. All of this at no cost, no obligation, and no hassle if you call right now. 844-7-SOLAR-8. That's 844-7-SOLAR-8. This is the Power Report presented by Solstice Energy. I'm Rand DeWitt.